Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive shift in how lean organizations actually operate. I want you to picture this for a second. A lean startup scaling its output, getting way more done without adding a single new headcount. How? By using an invisible, completely automated workforce. Now, if you've been following the AI space in 2026, you already know things are moving at a totally breakneck pace. But today, we're zooming in specifically on how tools from Anthropic are completely transforming daily operations. Let's get right into exactly how this transformation happens.
Let's be honest, we've all hit that classic small business bottleneck, right? You hire brilliant, expensive people to strategize, but then they get bogged down by these manual, siloed daily operations that just drain their time and energy. They end up spending half their week copying and pasting data or chasing down approvals. It's incredibly frustrating, and frankly, it's a waste of talent.
Think about the old way we used to run operations. It was manual, it was slow, and it was highly siloed. You'd ask for an update, and then you just wait. You pass a file to a coworker, and you wait. But the 2026 reality is a complete paradigm shift. It's automated, it's ambient, and it's continuous. AI is no longer just a tool, it's acting as a collaborative partner working right alongside you. All right, let's dive into Section 1, Team Automation, with Claude Tag. So Claude Tag is essentially the communication hub of your new invisible workforce. Before, AI was just something you used in a private browser tab, a totally solo experience. But Claude Tag brings that intelligence directly into the organizational plumbing you already use every day. Here is how it works. Step 1, you simply tag Claude in a public Slack channel or a thread. Step 2, it instantly breaks your request into steps, analyzes all the shared context of the conversation so you don't have to re-explain the whole background, and then it executes the task using connected tools like GitHub, Jira, or your CRM. Finally, Step 3, it posts the progress and the solution right there for everyone to see. Collaboration moves out of those private chat windows and directly into public team channels where everyone understands the reasoning.
But here's where it gets really wild. Ambient mode. With this enabled, your AI doesn't just wait around to be summoned, it's actually proactive. It surfaces stalled discussions, highlights unresolved issues, and points out decisions that actually need a human to make a call. It literally nudges the team forward when work stalls out. You can even assign it long-term standing work like, say, summarizing a channel's progress every Friday or flagging urgent items asynchronously. You close Slack, go home, and it just keeps working.
Moving right along to Section 2, Co-work plugins for legal and finance.
Okay, so when it's time to escalate tasks for some serious analytical heavy lifting, CowWork plugins step in as your dedicated domain experts. Now, CowWork itself is a desktop assistant that creates and edits files directly on your machine, but these specific plugins, they are a total game changer for small businesses. Let's talk legal tasks. CowWork can instantly triage NDAs by risk level and apply your firm's specific negotiation playbook clause by clause, flagging issues and suggesting edits. Or take financial analysis. It can build out complex financial models, analyze comparable transactions, prep entire pitch books, and even parse through dense earnings calls. We're talking about tasks that literally used to require a dedicated team of lawyers or financial analysts. Now, they're handled seamlessly. Now, of course, a licensed human still reviews the final output, but that initial analytical heavy lifting is completely automated.
So what's the ultimate payoff here? You compress the time it takes to do all that analytical groundwork from days down to just hours. This massive time-saving benefit is exactly what allows a solo operator or a really lean team to perform the work of a staff of 5. This isn't just about saving 10 minutes here or there. It is about fundamentally changing the entire scope of what a small business can actually achieve in a single workday.
Which brings us to Section 3, Visualizing Workflows with Artifacts. Now, to actually see and interact with all this automated work, we are moving completely away from those boring, static text summaries that just flatten complex data. Nobody wants to read those. Instead, artifacts turn the heavy lifting from co-work into live interactive micro-apps right inside your chat window. You aren't just reading about your data anymore. You are actually interacting with it in real time.
Artifacts instantly bridge that frustrating gap between raw data and usable software. If you upload a massive, messy CSV file of financial data, Claude doesn't just spit out a text summary. It instantly generates a beautiful, clickable, interactive dashboard. Need to map out a complex customer journey? Boom, it creates a dynamic process map. You can literally generate landing pages just from screenshots or build out functional training quizzes for your new hires. It makes visualizing your automated workflows so incredibly seamless and immediate.
And here is a super important detail. Because artifacts support persistent storage, they actually evolve over time. They remember things. On day 1, you might set up an interactive task tracker. With up to 20 megabytes of persistent storage across your sessions, that tracker actually remembers its state. So by day 15, you and your team are updating ongoing tasks in that exact same artifact. By day 30, it has evolved into a persistent, ongoing collaboration space where you can review historical data. It takes those one-off AI chats and turns them into genuinely useful, stateful applications that grow with your team.
Let's pull back and look at the big picture in Section 4, the new structural advantage. 90%. That is a staggering number. That represents Spotify's reported reduction in engineering time on code migrations using Cowork. And yeah, while that's an engineering example, it's a metric that proves the sheer raw power of this automation. When you apply that exact same level of time reduction to drafting legal documents or pulling financial market intelligence or updating your CRM dashboards, the impact on a small team's bandwidth is just astronomical.
Which leads us to this inescapable reality. The gap between massive, well-funded enterprises and solo operators, it isn't just closing gradually anymore, it is collapsing. The source material actually highlights that Anthropic itself is shipping major updates every 2 weeks, specifically because they are using these exact tools to build faster. Small businesses that adopt Tag, Cowork, and artifacts right now are gaining a massive structural advantage over legacy competitors who are still out there doing things the old, manual, exhausting way.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought today. The tools that used to be strictly reserved for huge teams with massive enterprise budgets are now accessible to anyone, right from a desktop or even a mobile phone. As the timeline of AI progress collapses from months to days, how quickly can you transform your own daily operations? What will your team build next when all the heavy lifting is handled by your invisible workforce? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it sparks some exciting ideas for your own workflows.